In today's class, we are going to continue the revisioning of the previous chapters. Chapter that we are going to today revise is the metal and non-metals chapter. The first question that we are going to do is of the MCQ type comprising 1 marks. The question is, an element reacts with oxygen to give a compound with a high melting point. The compound is soluble in water. The element is likely to be A, calcium, B, carbon, C, iron, and D, silicon. Now the question is saying an element is reacting with oxygen and producing an oxide. Now the elements are given in the choices are calcium, carbon, iron and silicon. So calcium produces calcium oxide, carbon produces carbon dioxide, iron produces iron oxide and silicon produces silicon dioxide. Now there are two information that are given regarding the oxide, that is, one is melting point is extremely high and the second one is that the compound oxide is soluble in water. Carbon dioxide and silicon dioxide, the melting point is not that much high, whereas for iron the melting point is extremely high. For calcium oxide, it is soluble in water but not as much, melting point is not as much high as that of iron oxide, whereas iron oxide both have higher melting point and also soluble in water. So evidently the element in the question that they are talking about is iron. The next question is not a MCQ type question. The question comprises minimum plus 2 marks. The question is of the same chapter, metals and non-metals. The question is saying give an example of a metal which 1 is a liquid at room temperature can be easily cut with a knife is the best conductor of heat. Is a poor conductor of heat. The answer for the first one, a metal, example of metal which is liquid at room temperature. The example of that metal we all know is mercury. Hg. The answer for the second question, metal that can easily be cut with a knife. There are two very well known metal, one is sodium, another one is potassium. The third question is an example of metal which is good conductor, which is best conductor of heat. One of the best conductor of heat is silver and copper. The last question is an example of metal which is poor conductor of heat and electricity. The metal which is poor conductor of heat and electricity heat is lead.